Meaning, there's no king or anyone paying him money. It's like he's a knight sent from above. And I want you to look at that card. You see that? His sword, he's pointing down to the ground. He's pointing downward. He's also got the halo around his head, the sun. So he's got a purpose. He's got a purpose. His battle is a purpose. It's not usually a battle against someone. He's more battling against the old ways, the ways that people are, the ways that people do things, the control. He's a different kind of knight. Okay? This is the Three of Hearts. This is also another very interesting card. It's like a card of chance, or gambling in a sense, but I just say it's a card of chance. Because that's always what I feel about it. There's a chance. The reason why is, look at this card, okay? You have locks here. You have these. You have a lock here in the center. It's like you got to go through all of these, what's the word I'm looking for? Combinations. Quickly. To set free the love, okay? And it's almost an impossibility. It is almost an impossibility, but there's always a chance, okay? Lordy, God help me. Okay, this is Morgana. Morgana teaches tough love. She shows you the bad in order to get to the good. She's not afraid to use bad on you. So what I'm getting from this card, what I'm getting from Morgana is our government. It's all about our government. Somehow, friends, have brainwashed the people, all of us, into thinking we have no power or control. That's not true. That's not true, my friends. Listen to me. We are the ones with the power. They're the ones who don't have power. They're put there by us. But they're not kept there by us. And that's what Morgana wants to show us. We vote them in. Now remember, Morgana shows you the bad in order to get, so you can get to the good. We vote them in. And then they meet the lobbyists. All of these lobbyists for companies, organizations that line their pockets. And then they don't work for the people anymore. They don't work for you. They don't work for me. They work to line their own pockets. Yeah. Okay, this is Giles. Giles is peeping out. You know. Okay, so that you see what I'm talking about. Okay, do you see that? It's not a mistake, by the way, that this kind of makes a cross. And notice the blood dripping down from the 9 of Hearts. Okay? Because you're supposed to be there to protect the people, to love the people. That's what you're supposed to be there for. But you've turned into an organization that only lets a few people in. And that's why the door. You know, when you have those secret rooms or you've got something going on, they'll open up the little door to see who it is. You have to have the right code or know somebody or something, and then they let you in.
The NGOs.
This government is elected by the people, but when it's turned into something else, it is not for the people. And now the people suffer and they pay the price. The blood of the people will run down that door. They don't care. They don't care about the people anymore. And yet, they're supposed to care about the people. Now, I know you may not exactly understand that, but let me explain. Our children are shut down in the halls of their schools for years. They have been pleading with us, help us, stop this. They're afraid to go to school. And it continues to happen over and over and over. The blood runs down the door because they don't care about the children. Why? Because the gun lobbyists put money in their pockets, and therefore they will not do a thing. Your children, my children, died because they won't do anything. Because the gun lobbyists line their pockets with money. That's what Morgana is trying to tell you. They're lining their pockets with money. They're behind a secret door that only a few can get in. And the blood drips down that door. The blood of the children. The blood of the people in the cages and their children. Blood. This is the 5 of Spades. These birds pick anything cling to the bottom. Look at this. This is a skull. The buzzards. They clean everything down to the bottom. You're eating your own. So we have the government that has the blood, and they're eating their own. We are continually being sacrificed by our government. The government, mind you, that we the people put in there, vote in there. First of all, there should not be any lobbying in government. Why are we allowing that to continue? Because they all do it. But that's not an excuse. This has changed the government and turned it into something we cannot recognize. It is no longer for the people. It is eating its people. It's no longer for the people. Therefore, we, again, we the people, with the power, and we have the power to, please, God, please, do not let them convince you you don't have the power. We are the only ones that do have the power. Don't let them tell you otherwise. We have the power, my friends. We have it. Last but not least, the sword of destruction. Now, notice that this sword, which is a weapon, is not by itself. God, people. Because just like a gun, it's not going to kill you or anybody else by itself. You have to have a person wielding that weapon. So, for lining their pockets for money, our children are being slaughtered. Now we're asked to be slaughtered for this president and go back to work. If you have the sword of destruction, you do not have caring for anybody. Understand that first. Right there. Understand that. If you have the sword of destruction, you don't have caring for anyone. And this president says, get out there and go to work. You're going to die of something anyway. You're old, you're going to die. Just go out there and go to work. Why? Because that's what he needs you to do. It's what he needs. It's what he wants. He doesn't care about your life. He's already told you you're going to die anyway. What? We have a purpose, friends. Listen, we have a purpose. The president has a purpose. He's here to show us how bad everything is. And you don't get any worse than the president saying, go out there and die anyway. You're going to die anyway, so go out there and go to work. You don't get any worse.
Unfortunately, can't get worse.
Than Congress, Senate saying, no, we can't get rid of those guns. Because we have a Fifth Amendment right. Now remember what I told you. This sword doesn't stand alone. There's people. The sword can't kill you by itself. Somebody's got to be wielding it. Just like a gun. It doesn't kill you by itself. Somebody's got to be wielding that gun and aiming it. Right? Right? Are you with me here? Are you following me? They have now convinced people that somehow they have the fifth, whatever daggum amendment it is. I don't know about all of the amendments and what they're numbered, and I don't really care. They are convincing them that they have the right to slaughter your children for their right to wield that weapon that they just used on your child. Okay? Think about that a minute. We cannot let this go any longer, friends. We can't. Listen to me. We matter. We are important. Every one of us is here for a purpose. Like I said, Trump is here to teach us a lesson and show us how bad everything is. We get it. I see it. It's bad. But what are we here for? We're here to fight that. We're here to fight for the right to live. We're here to fight for the right to have a job, have a family, raise your family. You're not going to be raising a family if somebody's wielding weapons. When, my friends? When is enough enough? We are the ones with the power. Do not let them convince you you don't have any power, because you do. We need to take that power back. We need to take it back now.
Yeah, she's right. We need to take it back now. And yeah, they want to convince everybody. This is why the media, it's all propaganda machines of the right or the left, and they don't want to expose all of the things. And this, she's right, I have to say. She, even in 2016, wanted me to have a brain scan because I seemed angry when getting close to the presidential elections, and I was terrified Trump would get into office because I knew what would happen and exactly what's happening. See, I don't need tarot cards to read the future. I just have all my books and all my knowledge, and this is what's incredible about this woman. She even says she's uneducated. She listens to the news, but from some town, I'm not sure exactly, but quite simple woman, and this was one of the first tarot things that I had seen that one of the gentlemen here follows these, and I was walking out, he was watching it on TV, and I listened to this, and I was like, whoa, we should put her in a civics class with this thing. I mean, literally, the World Bank has all of their online learning and all sorts of stuff about civics and, stuff that all of these people should have learned. I'm like, don't tell me you people are spending $750 million of taxpayers' money to produce this? What a waste of money! This is fraud, 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 fraud. And of course, all of the lawyers are in bed with all of them, and the lobbyists. But I was really, I was hysterical. I was like, don't you people realize everybody's walking around? I felt like I was, in zombie land the day after. I was amazed in Washington. Everybody was kind of like, well, yeah, whatever. So what? You people don't realize what is coming. And these are all the experts who are supposed to be examining. I mean, literally, gosh, there's tons. Literally, how many trillions of dollars is being paid for you guys, all you bigwigs and intelligent people, looking down your noses at me, to be examining all of these problems and produce solutions? But all you want to do is get invited to the discussion, and the next discussion, and the next discussion, and the next discussion. This is where the alpha dominance feminists come in. I mean, nobody wants to go up against them. They are not totally, it's not totally their fault. But, ooh, you break up those protection rackets and everything that's going on, and it does start opening the floodgates. Believe me, they would open. Once again, as I said, you fight fire with fire, you fight Machiavelli with Machiavelli. And what's so funny about all of these narcissists and all of these psychopaths and who will play this game, because that's what they all are, is that when you beat them at their own game, they're like these wounded animals. Like, how could you do something like that? I mean, they're the most vicious people in the world, but if you turn the tables and use their own rules against them, they act like, you know, surprised and offended that anybody could treat them like that. That's one of my favorites with all of these, you know, narcissists, when you catch them in their own game and you win them at their own game, and they will play the wounded animal to the hilt, and very convincingly, and also get angry, you know. You were supposed to be my friend, and you know. Wait a second, you do this all of the time, but when it's done against you, all of a sudden, it's wrong. It's not fair. That's my favorite. It's not fair. It's not fair. Like, wait a second. You're the ones who made the rules. I'm just playing by your rules. Believe me, when Pearl Harbor started in Spain in 2007 and they declared war against me, I told everybody, and I've told everybody for all the way along the trail of the game, is I only have, you pick a fight with me, I don't pick fights with anybody. Really, I don't. But you pick a fight with me, I have one rule. One rule only. We play by your rules. And I can assure you, I win every time. Every time. Because most of you guys playing that game are actually a bunch of idiots. Oh, you think you're so intelligent, you know, and you got your MBA, you got your PhD, you got straight A's in school. And believe me, the straight A students, how many straight A students do I know? And over at the World Bank, the UN, and all of that, all of these guys, they know how to memorize tests. Yeah, okay, I'll give them that. That's the name of the game in school. And that's one of the problems with our academic systems, is all they will care about is regurgitation of facts and everything. One of the many people in this whole long story is Maguelone Orleans, or Philippe Orleans is her husband. He was the attaché culturel at the French embassy in Bogota when we were living there. Now she's an, oh my goodness, social climber, like you wouldn't believe, even though she's from the CISIUM, the ruling elite of the French, and her husband's apparently the social climber. The whole story about that. Believe me, see, this is another advantage about being a socialite and being somebody who is actually not just going to the parties, but actually cares about the community and is involved in the community and all of the people in it. You know who's sleeping with who. And it's not always the wives and the husbands with their own wives and husbands. And who the mistresses are, and all of the dirty little secrets of what's going on in the community. You know all about it, and that is part of being the socialite, because it's just like with your children. Unless you know what you're dealing with, you're not going to be very effective. Because this whole thing of, I treat my ex-mother-in-law, she was always saying that I treat my children exactly the same. I said, well, I don't, because they're not the same. One of them, you know, each of them, they need to be pushed where they need to be pushed, and they need to be reined in where they need to be reined in, and usually because they're very, very different characters, and I actually would always tell the two of them, one of them is much more like me, and the other is much more like its father, much more charismatic. And then I'm using the charismatic in the vernacular sense of what's out there now, not in the sense of Lee Iacocca, which I'll get into later. In that sense, I think I'm more charismatic. But in the socializing and small talk and how shall I say it? Charming people. He's better than I am. But as you know, I would always tell my two sons, you know, between the two of you, together, you could rule the world. Apart, you're going to be alone. Because they do have that yin and yang, you know, personalities. You do need, you know, none of us can be everything. Many try, but it's just not possible. I mean, Denzel Washington, which I didn't play this evening, but I'll play another time. It's a very good speech he did at a graduation of, you know, you're going to be good at some things and bad at other things. All of us. And what's important and part of a mom's job is finding, you know, helping the children figure out as they become adults and even later into life what, you know, what they want, what their forte is, where their talents lie, and develop those talents and get them interested. Don't just, you know, okay, maybe you're interested in math and you're really good in math, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't know something about music and art and literature and everything like that. I mean, my eldest son, who always was very, very, very smart, and I'm sure it was his father had been pushing him to be a straight A student like his father had been. A lot of help that gave him. And he said, "Oh, Mom, I got straight A's." I said, "Oh, that's wonderful. But that's not what's important in life. I mean, that's wonderful. I'm very proud of you. But, you know, I want you to you know, also do sports and have time for your friends. I don't want you studying all of the time. And what's really important is you get the best, you know, the subjects that you're really good at. There, you show them the best that you can do. And the subjects that you're not interested in, okay, show them the best that you can do. Don't bust your chops studying and studying and studying just to get an A on something that doesn't interest you. Of course, you know, you need to study, as I say, just the mathematician. He needs to be a well-rounded person, and even to be a better mathematician. You know, there's plenty of things that you can learn from music. You know, I don't. After many years and much money of music classes and piano classes and hours and hours and hours of sitting at the piano, I still can't read music. And I mean, I can figure it out because I know, I sort of remember face and every good. Oh, see, I don't even remember how that goes. And all I can play is "Here We Go, Up a Road to a Birthday Party." A little bit of Fleur-Elise. You know, the talent just is not there, and it made me not appreciate music because I had to sit there and force to something where I had no talent whatsoever and no desire to learn it. And I like the guitar. I was actually talking to the woman who taught us guitar when I was little, and I said, "Oh, I loved the strumming part, but then I realized I had to practice and practice and practice, changing really fast my fingers, and I said, no, I want to go out and ride my horse. So, you know, there I have real great talent. I mean, my younger sister said she's the Olympic rider. I think out of the three of us, if anybody would have had a chance, it would have been me. But that ship is sailed. I'm too old. And the problem is, you need a horse. That's what I keep on. You know, my nephew, when he wanted to ride professionally, I was like, oh God. I mean, he has the talent. Oh, he has the talent. I'm very proud of him. He's doing a wonderful job. He has done that, and he's doing it. No money, no, you know, he's doing it on his own. And for that, I really admire him, because that is a world filled with money. I was down at Wellington, where, in fact, Bruce Springsteen's daughter, the girl who was riding it, said Springsteen. I said, oh God, is that Bruce Springsteen's daughter? And yeah, effectively. But see, Bruce Springsteen, I mean, she wants a $5 million horse, and she's got it. My nephew has to find the horse and train it, because nobody's got $5 million. I wouldn't be living here. But so anyway, I did want to finish up with this, but see, we have the power. The people have the power. And I can assure you, the Morgana that she's talking about in here, when I heard about that, I was like, oh God, that's got to be me. That's got to be me, the Morgana. I'm just trying to figure out who the knight is. Maybe that's supposed to be me too. I'm like yin and yang together. Who knows? But see, this is the thing. Yes, as she said, this Morgana, she's capable of great evil, but only to bring in the good, and only to go up with the good. And believe me, I would know. You know, something that I have no problem. You know, like these guys over here. Anne Beatrix Keller, oh, when I get finished with that woman, I warned her, I warned her, and John Harper. And I warn everybody, right in their face. I am going to the international courts, and if you want to come with me, you're more than welcome to get on the gravy train. Because I got a whole slew of people on there, and there's plenty of room. And we can just keep on going. Because everything that you people are doing is illegal under international conventions, the Rome statutes, but I mean, I've looked at all of the international conventions, and actually these here, you've got the European Convention on Human Rights.